So this morning I'm playing with another little panel that I did a few years ago. I painted this in acrylic, and I had tinted it with the quinacridone magenta, and I've done that the odd time and when I've used acrylic, and I really like the effect that it produced. Acrylic is a medium I almost never use, or is a paint that I almost never use. I find it sometimes I haven't mastered it enough that I can sort of reduce the look of candy, trying to make it look a little more mature. So what I have here is basically something that I got so far on, and I decided eventually, nah, I'm not happy with that. Now I'm going to paint into it. I'm going to try to improve it, but I'm going to be painting with oils. That's no problem, as you know, painting oil over acrylic. So what I had to begin with was this entire area was this shock of, I think, a mixture of ultramarine blue and cobalt blue and a bit of white. And it was just a little too cartoonish. So I'm going to modify that a little bit, try to clean it up, try to make it a little more interesting. So I guess you can see what I'm trying to do is tidy up a few edges, intensify or change the areas that I have more intense color. Trying to break up this foreground bush, which is very solid, just allowing a little bit of the ground cover to show through. I'm planning on sticking with some cooler greens as I have them sitting there for the stuff that's really in the shade, and then trying to put maybe a few highlights here and there on those greens to continue to give it a bit of a three-dimensional look to it. You know, I still have this very straight line, and it's running right through the painting. I may interrupt it by putting a bit of foliage at the bottom, but I think it needs something else. And I'm thinking what it might just want is for this to carry on and intersect that line. I might cut across the front of it, and I might not. But because we have a long stretch here of very light against very dark, I felt it behooved me to break that up. And there, and there. I have to be careful I don't end up with a bunch of hydro poles. Okay. Yeah, I think that was the right thing to do. Also, what else do we have here? I have something else that's kind of bothering me. This tree. Although I want the painting to stay reasonably loose, I would like to keep the edges of the trees reasonably well defined. If about half of them were well defined and the other half were not, it wouldn't bother me, but mostly I have things pretty clearly defined, so we'll try to stick with that. So I have this trunk coming down, and it doesn't really appear to hook up with this trunk, so I think what I'll try to do is just continue it behind here. This would be much easier if I had a small sable brush. But I don't care enough to worry about it, so I won't. I guess I should have this at least a little bit darker. I don't know, in danger of being too fussy. So we'll just stop right there for the moment. Stop with that reinforcing of the outlines. I like these purples in here. They're becoming very soft. I think I'd like to have another tier of color in this direction, catching a little more light against these foreground bushes. So I'm just going to put a bit of that in and see what happens. That's painting for you. Seeing what happens. Okay, I think I like that notion. I'll continue with it. Okay, that's good. That reestablishes some definition between here and here. I didn't want the intensity of the painting to die off too quickly on the left-hand side. Also, I'm going to break this up a little bit. Strong quinacridone magenta here and here on the edges of the painting. I'm just going to take that down a bit. I don't like it too strong in there. You know what? I'm going to get rid of... I'm going to get rid of these blues on this side. I don't want them here and here. I'll just have them on one side. Or blues, purples I should say. Symmetry has its place, but it does not rule the roost. It certainly should not. Okay, a couple specks there and a few here. That'll do. Yeah, I've decided to cut these trunks off at the bottom. I think that's the way to go. So far. There seems to be a lot leaning to the right in this painting on top. That's okay. It's not the worst thing on earth. It's not even bad. Sometimes. Right now it's bothering me a bit, and I think what I'm doing right now is fixating. I have more important things to do. So I think I'll get to laying in some light on these greens now. Let's see, a little bit of ultramarine blue, yellow ochre, and a little alizarin crimson. Trying to keep it warm. And in filling in my spaces, trying also, obviously, to indicate shape within the areas that catch a bit of light. Outlining may give you shape, but it still needs to be backed up. Okay. Oh. A rogue hair. Yeah. Alright. A dash more alizarin crimson. Must remember to breathe. And you tend to forget that sometimes with these little fussy brush strokes. Maybe that's a bit of lighter bush showing through. Yeah. No, I don't want that cutting in like that. Whoops. Getting paint on myself, how could that possibly happen? Well, you know, that's improving. That's definitely improving. I'm happy with that so far. I think I'll leave it at that for the time being, guys. So, the next one, obviously, I'll continue with this. Have a good day. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.